Okay, thank you so much for coming to Senator Prince Bassi, headed the two Youth House, Cross River State hub for all youth activities. And today I'll be explaining the journey so far for us as youth leadership in Cross River State. For the past 2 years, we came into office sometime in 2024, and since after that time, it has been different uh, engagement with youth, with leaders, with authorities, with organizations, all geared towards youth development. We've had we've had several youth related program advocacy program across, but top among them is when we came on board, we had our youth International Youth Week here, where we held and organized a medical outreach for the host community of the youth house, where young persons were treated all for free. We also identified those who had need for surgery through partnership with, through appeal to Office of Her Excellency, the First Lady, and then Humanity Without Borders. We had young persons who benefited from free surgical intervention from Her Excellency's office. Fast forward to September of that year, we had an enlarged engagement which housed the entire youth structure of Cross River State. And fast forward to the new year 2025, we had our solemn assembly year of January. We had a tour. That tour was across the Senatorial District from Bakassi to Obanliku, where we engaged with youth, saying no to drugs. We were taken to different areas where you have young persons sitting to take all of those things. People who are also exposed to people who are selling those materials, we educated them and advocated that they should stop. Shortly after that time, we had a central youth tour also. We toured the entire 6 local government of the Central Senatorial District, where we also encourage young people to desist from drugs. We also encourage them to register to get their voters card and all. And also among the things we've done under my leadership is one of our landmark events. And that landmark event is the Cross River State Youth Convergence, which we held last year, September 19th, It was a big event where we had youth leaders coming from across and then speaking to collaboration and synergy of young persons to opportunities, And also we've also had, very recently, we just concluded our International Youth Week, which is for the very first time we had a week-long event, week-long event in the sense that a 7-day event where we started with engagement with youth leaders of non-indigenous youth leaders across the state. We met with the Igbo youth, the Hausa youth, the Yoruba youth. Then when the Central Mosque, Bogobi Central Mosque, where we also had to start our event. Shortly after that, the next day, we had sanitation across the state, major junctions and major areas in the state. Young persons volunteered to clean up the environment to support what the government are doing in terms of environmental cleanliness and environmental sustainability. Sunday, we went to church. We went to church to thank God for what the Lord has done or He's doing for the youth of Cross River State. On Sunday evening, we had a novelty football match between the Team National Youth Council of Nigeria versus Team IPAC. IPAC represents Interparty Advisory Council, housing all political parties. They came together and played against the Youth Council. Unfortunately, the Youth Council were defeated, even though we were the host. That particular activity for us meant a lot, or means a lot to us, because it was an opportunity to send a message to young persons that we have to be politically tolerant. We have young persons coming from different parties to come together to now play that novelty match against the National Youth Council. And we used that activity to pass a message. The National Youth Council of Nigeria, our mandate is simple. Our mandate is to be a bridge between the government, organizations, and other authorities, between the young persons and all of this group of persons. Now, as a youth leadership, I have shared a number of times that as youth chairman, I'm not leading a Taliban organization. So my interest should be promoting peace and dialogue, not protest. I will not become the best youth chairman or best youth leader in Cross River State because I have the tendency to shut gate down, or I have the tendency to hold people to the jugular. If you don't give me money, I will do this. I have not done that. I don't intend to do that. And so for us, we are a bridge. Understand the policies of the government and relate it to young persons, and also relate the concerns of young persons to the authorities. And we've done that perfectly well. I shared with you from our tour, where young persons said, you wanted this, you wanted this. As I speak to you, the Obudu Cattle Ranch has fully been privatized, right? The investors came in. I was there. I was invited because I had made that report to the authorities that the young persons here said, there's an ongoing road in Bekura local government where I come from, where the groundbreaking was done, and a number of other places. So for us, we are a bridge. And what do the bridge do? It provides connection between point A to point B. At any time where a youth leader decides to become arrogant and become a leader who now leads war and battles, right? There's a disconnect. There's a disconnect. Yes, we are work in progress as a state, but how do you explain the progress we are making? We are making progress. You explain the policies. Are there challenges? You convey those challenges to the authorities. If there are opportunities, your duty as a youth leader is to communicate to the people who need these opportunities. And if you need to connect young people to other people that can assist them achieve their desired goal, you do that. So the best youth leaders are not the youth leaders that shut down government gates or gates of authorities and all of that. We have data of a number of persons who, through our platform, have been supported and then assisted by government, by non-governmental organizations, and other organizations. We have data because we are a structured organization, right? So when I get a call to provide this, I don't provide them from the blues. You get back to the downliners. It's okay, make available XYZ number and all of that. So we can make that available to your team. The young persons must take advantage of our numbers to make a statement for the future. And that statement is, from our assessment, is that young persons must support candidate of their choice. For us at the National Youth Council, we have given a thumbs up to His Excellency the Governor for the work he's doing for young persons. And we are giving that 100% to our governor for a number of interventions. 2, young persons must not abuse the privilege of the internet. We must use the internet rightly. We must use the internet not to shut our doors closely. Young persons, I'm charging young persons to sit down to read the rules and regulations guiding the use of the internet, right? So the internet should not become a platform to bring down the corporate image of our state, to abuse another young person, to abuse leaders, to say things that are unruly, but a platform for us to project our image. This council is ready to take as many complaints as possible and then to convey to the authority. And then above all, I would like to ask the authorities to also listen to young persons, right? There are young persons that have used the right channel of communication and that feel that the response is too slow. So they want to go this other way. As leaders of the youth in Cross River State, are appealing to young persons to stay calm, to use the right channel. When they use this right channel, leaders must be proactive. Leaders should not keep what they should attend to today, tomorrow. Because we are young, we have energy. If you keep what you are supposed to do today for tomorrow, before you come back, before you get to tomorrow, these people can explode. So under my watch, we do not want any young persons to explode. Leaders must stay proactive, just like young followers must be patient enough to get response from our leaders. So let me use this opportunity to thank His Excellency Senator Prince Basi Edelutu, who has supported us very sufficiently. For us to host a week event is not a joke. So we thank him for that. Also, let me also thank him particularly for intervening and for directing that the primary school in my village should be attended to with urgency. We had that football novelty match competition. On Monday, we had a world press conference where the Ministry of Youth Development, other groups, other offices in the youth cluster, the SSA Youth Development, the chairman, Youth Empowerment Scheme, the special advisors and special assistants to the governor on youth, myself, the youth chairman, the leaders of other youth groups were all assembled, and we spoke to the fact that under the leadership of Senator Prince Bassey too, so many things have happened for young persons. Empowerment and support and training and all have been happening under his watch. And it was an opportunity for the press to ask us questions, how satisfied we are with His Excellency the Governor. And I responded by saying the Governor has given us sincerely a very conducive atmosphere for us to operate as youth leaders and youth of Cross River State. And then it was also an opportunity that same day for us to visit as one of our cardinal advocacy program. We visited the African prison where we engaged with the inmates, and we got remarks and input from the inmate at African, young inmate in African prison, where they shared their challenges with us, which we compiled and we made a report. Passionately, the National Youth Council of Nigeria, in the course of the Youth Week, had to facilitate the payment of fine for about 5 inmates, yes, for five young inmates, to commemorate the International Youth Day, Youth Week, And in our wisdom, we requested that should be spread across. We have five inmates to be released. So we say 1 to the north, 1 to the south, 1 to the central. Now, those people who we are facilitating their release, there are people who the court have deemed fit to go home, and then maybe there's a request for a fine, and they do not have such fines to pay for them to be free. So the National Youth Council, being the umbrella youth body, came up to say, okay, give us 5. We'll take care of that. And we reported to the authority, our ministry, and other authorities that this is what we desire, because freedom is very sweet, and we did that. And we took material and financial resources, the little we have as youth organization, to them to celebrate the International Youth Week. And Tuesday, we did a number of visits. We visited the Vice Chancellor of the University of Cross River State, other stakeholders, to tell them thank you for what they have been doing for the Cross River youth community. And on Wednesday, which was the 12th, became the grand finale of the Youth Week 2026. That event, for the first time, we had a two-side event. We had an event in the earlier part of the day, and then in the evening, we had something that I would like to describe as international dinner, because it's International Youth Week. We hosted youth leaders from across the state. Yes, from across the state to a state dinner. And in that dinner, they had an opportunity to parley with His Excellency the Governor, who was represented by His Excellency the Deputy Governor, where they asked questions, they interacted with the authorities, areas of concern, and all of that was done. Then very mouth-watery dinner was served, So another landmark event that we have done is we had a statewide tour by the National Youth Council of Nigeria. That tour, the focus of the tour was for us to see what is on ground, what the government of the day have done, what they have not done, and then what young people think. Because we thought that we can't stay in Calabar to get those inputs. Some people want to tell lies. So we took up that tour, which was an assessment and unity tour. As we toured project by project, it was also an opportunity to ask young persons their feelings. In most of our local government area across, the young persons are happy. For very few local government, young people say they feel that the government can do this for them. And we made our report. We were in the ranch. The people in the ranch said, they really wish that the government can privatize the ranch properly. When we left for the cargo airport, we saw that young people are working. We're working at the cargo airport, and it's near completion. A target date for completion, as reported by the people at the field there, is December of this year. And not just because they are creating airport, it is the value of the airport to the Budukatu ranch and also providing opportunity for young persons to have a place to work, to earn a living, right? And we left there, came to Bekwara, where we engaged with the youth. And the youth said they needed government intervention on some of their major roads. It's in our report, and we submitted it. And we came to Ogoja. We saw that there's a facelift in the urban area. The Ogoja, the Governor's Lodge in Ogoja is 80% completed under the leadership of Senator Prince Bassey II. Now, what is the importance of the lodge? It means that if the governor is going to Cross River North, he has a place that he can entertain or admit all of the concerns of youth in Cross River North and the leaders there. We left there, we went to Umbube, we went to somewhere in Ochu. We came back and we went to some Abapa Junction, beautiful road down there. And we also asked the youth there, they made their remarks and went to, proceeded to Ekom. Luckily, we got to Ekom, it was already night. And we luckily met the Commissioner for Power, right? Commissioner for Power. He took us around to show us what they have done at night. How were we able to achieve that? We achieved that because there's installation of solar light everywhere in Ekom. So we took time to look at those jobs. They took us to the Governor's Lodge, even at night, everywhere bright. As they are building the Governor's Lodge in the north, they are building one in Central, and the General Hospital too in Ekom, that approval was given by His Excellency the Governor, and work is ongoing. We left Ekom, went to Obubra, we engaged with the chiefs, we engaged with the youth. They told us of a number of interventions. They asked for more and all. And then in Yako, we also saw road infrastructure. We went to Abi, we saw water interventions. We came back to Biase. We went to a community called Ijom Mabayongo. They are doing road there. We left to Akankpa, where we now met a road that is connecting Akankpa 1 to Akankpa 2, right? Which is a landmark achievement of His Excellency Senator Prince Bassey II, connecting the two state constituencies. We went there ourselves, we engaged with the youth. We came back to Odupani. We went to the Adiabo Ikonete Road, which is another very important road that connects Tinapa to the other side of Odupani. Great job done there. We engaged with the communities and the leaders and the youth of those communities. We came back to municipality, the state library. We saw the state library for ourselves. The lodge, which is statutory, the Governor's Lodge, a new face, parliamentary extension, and a number of other things we saw. Calabar South we saw that there's a facelift, road network and all. We went to Akpabio. There's also a road construction approved by the state government, which is ongoing. We went to Bakassi. They told us of how they cannot wait to get the Bakassi deep sea port. And we came back to the center, which is Calabar. We sat down and looked at all of the things that we've gotten from the field. We checked comparatively if we are making progress as youths or as a state. And we said, yeah, we're making progress under the leadership of Senator Prince Bassey II. So apart from infrastructure, as a youth leader, as a youth chairman, I'm privileged to information, right? I attended the event where 400 young persons were empowered to the tune of 800 million, And the selection, I'm glad that selection was done fairly well, right? And especially that the people that came from the creek, from the Bakassi Creek and all, that said, okay, they sent them for training. After the training, they were given money. A week after that time, 100 young persons were trained at Tinapa, a hub at Tinapa, and they were giving gadgets to the tune of 360 million. I, as youth chairman, have made nominations for young persons to go for training in Port Harcourt, in Nasarawa, Abuja, a number of places. So through the Ministry of Youth Development, a number of those trainings have happened. I have also participated in an engagement with Skyron through the Ministry of Youth Development, where young persons are being trained on the skill of TV and refrigerator repairs and all. Only 2 weeks ago, we went back there. They're expanding their capacity, and they want to increase the number of intake. That program is called Skill in the Hand Initiative of the Ministry of Youth Development, and many other things. Currently, as I speak, the senior special assistant to the governor on youth development, Dr. Julius Kijo, is organizing a statewide entrepreneurship training on different areas of skill set. As I speak, the training is ongoing. There's training on IT, robotics. There's training on drone. There's training on what's it called, content creation. There's training on the agricultural value chain. There are people who have been trained to be caterers. Different areas. Tourism economy. They are also teaching young people how to be useful in the tourism ecosystem. So putting all these things together, we deemed it necessary to give 100% support to His Excellency the Governor. After our tour, we gathered at the State Library to say that the Governor have done significantly well and he deserves our support and our endorsement, which we gave to him freely. It wasn't transactional. Nobody coerced anybody to do that. Under my leadership, I have not provided a transactional leadership. And so we did that. We also re-echoed that in the town hall engagement that happened in Abuja. And just recently, we had a rally across the state to share that, yes, what we had said before, we really, really mean it. That in the youth ecosystem in Cross River State, Senator Prince Basi Aderetu have given us significant support, and he deserves our support. And another engagement that we've had that is very sacrosanct to our development at this time is that we've engaged across. A young person must shun all forms of political violence, internet thuggery, political thuggery, and the likes, cultism and drug abuse, and all of that put together. And that's why we're working on the partnership with the police headquarters, Cross River State headquarters, where we want to do a serious sensitization once again before the campaigns on political thuggery and media thuggery. Media thuggery may sound strange to my listeners, but media thuggery is the way and manner young people behave on the internet. They want to do an exposition to that effect. Young people must know their boundaries. They must understand the law. The internet is very interesting. It provides an opportunity for us to get, to make money, to grow our visibility, to connect with others across the world. Also provide us with an opportunity to project the image of our state and project the corporate image of Cross River State. And so when you decide to abuse those privileges, it becomes thuggery. So we at the National Youth Council of Nigeria, we are seeing a very big no to all forms of political thuggery, media thuggery, and the likes. Especially that we are going into for elections. We are sending serious signal across our structure to share that young persons must not make themselves available to be used by politicians whose interest may just be to get into offices. We are rather saying that young persons must make themselves available to be empowered. You can only use tools. If you have a cutlass, you use it and dump it. But as humans, as young persons are supposed to be empowered. So it is me, as youth chairman, requesting that young persons should come on board so that they will be empowered and then they'll benefit from the empowerment made available by His Excellency Senator Prince Basi Aderetu. If they come to use you as tools, please tell them no. If they come to give you gun, tell them no, you go for the ballot. So we are charging young persons to pick their voters card and get ready to vote and vote rightly.